When I started planning my trip to Pakistan, one place on the map stood out like a sore thumb, and that city was Peshawar in the northwest corner of Pakistan. It's only 60 miles away from the Afghan border. It's on the British government's do not visit list, so I came anyway. Now, in character, Peshawar is quite different to the rest of Pakistan, not only in the way people dress and live, and it's quite a conservative city, but also the food. We've got an awful lot to pack in, a lot of food, a lot of sights, so we're going to split this vlog into two parts, so enjoy the first one, and we're going to start tonight with the most famous dish of the area, Chapli Kebab. So I'm lucky enough to be guided tonight and throughout my stay in Peshawar by Shahid, Umar and Khanzada, and 4 people, 4 times the number of dishes. This is something to look forward to, especially since I can normally eat for 2 myself. Can you explain where exactly in Peshawar we are tonight?
Basically we are at Kebab, and tonight our feast is our traditional Chapli Kebab. And we are at the most famous Khanzada Chapli Kebab. We'll show you around how Khanzada make it, the Chapli Kebab, and how it is different from others, and why it is so much tender, delicious, and the most yummy-licious in Peshawar.
Well, I've never had this before, Muttonista, so we're in for a bit of a treat tonight. And I'd say, judging by the queues here, this is a pretty popular place, and popular always means good in these parts. So they're using a traditional wood stove to heat the fire here. Piles and piles of logs and wood. Here we have the chapli kebabs being made, fried on a huge skillet, presumably cooked in ghee.
It's minced meat marinated with some spinal cords, the freeze ones, and then some egg into it. And they slip it onto the whole stove, and then they cook it. And the aroma is due to this wood, the wood, the naturalness of this, the fats, the proper way of cooking this. All the aroma come from this. So we will experience. So ask Jason, how was it? How do you find it? And was it yummy-licious? Was it according to your parameters or not? So we wait and we order our food now.
Okay, well if these boys all like it, the boys queuing up, I think I'll like it as well. So there we have the minced meat. Did you say that's beef? Beef, yes, beef. Some tomatoes, and this looks like the coating. What's in the coating? Is this flour or rice or wheat?
Onion.
Onion,
yeah.
Onion. Okay, so he kneads the mixture, which already has the onion, some parsley, I think, the tomato and the wheat into a big patty, sticks them in the hot oil, and before you know it, they're all cooked. And there, Muttonistas, at the back, I do believe we have the finished product. Seating arrangements behind the stall in the cafe, restaurant, whatever you want to call it, are very traditional. Probably too difficult for me to manage. So there's quite a lot going on this street, not just Chapli Kebabs. I mean, some chap selling oranges here. More chaplis here, but with smaller queues. And on the other side of the road, something you'll have seen in many of my videos in Pakistan, barbecue. Here is a shop which seems to be exclusively selling naan. And look at that, I mean, it's like a factory line here, the way they're kneading the bread, moulding it into shape. slamming it onto the tandoori oven and then into the display cabinet. And if you can see that hole in the floor there, that is the tandoori oven. And if you ever wanted to know what a mutton shop looks like, well, here you are, folks. So the Chapli Kebabs have arrived, and we certainly have been given a working man's portion again here. Plenty of naan to go with it. And I understand the naan actually came from the shop we videoed a few moments ago. Down we go. Possibly a slightly cholesterol-rich dish again, this is, but that's a theme of Pakistani cuisine.
Meats, as you can see, it's so tender. You can see tomatoes, spices, some spinal cords.
Well, interesting to see that that's served with orange. And in the rest of Pakistan, if you remember, we tended to get dishes served with lemon. No knives and forks here. I'm going to have to dig in with my hands and do it the Pakistani way. I know spinal cords might not be everybody's first item on the menu, but these things add to the taste. And there's a reason why these dishes have been around for decades and centuries, because whatever part of the animal they happen to be using, they taste damn good. So, we have 2 massive plates of kebabs, big pile of naans. We're going to get on with it, and we'll be back with you when we polish them off. Okay, so Team Primemutton demolished those. They were a bit greasy and heavy, a bit like a Peshawari burger, but those Chapli Kebabs were delicious, and the orange was a surprise to me, but it went really well with it. Anyway, on to the next place, but first, a quick cup of tea.
In the end of a lot of greasy and oily food, yummy food, a cup of green tea is really necessary. Our tradition, our culture for Team Primemutton.
Well, given the Chinese say that as well, they must all be right. Cheers. Okay, folks, I have to confess something. I went a bit easy on the Chapli Kebabs simply because when I saw these kebabs being grilled across the road, I thought I had to really try them. Petit problem. The shop had sold all its kebabs, so they're done. So we're going to find somewhere else to have a little nibble, and that is always a good sign. They turn over their meat, and when they're done, they're done. No stale meat hanging around there.
Now we're at the Beresco Gate. The gate's one of the gates of the whole city of Peshawar. We're here to get some seekh kebab for Jason because we're out of them here. We'll have some seekh kebab, delicious, and then we'll try some traditional desi ghee sweet. And then Jason will tell you if you like it or not.
Yeah, that's chicken. Great. Yeah, chicken.
That is a seekh kebab, and those are the chicken pieces. Okay. And that is the grilled fish, or they're very famous.
So don't they look beautiful, those kebab strips? We're just going to have a couple of skewers just to keep us going before dessert. And just to check the quality of the kebabs, of course. Okay, folks, whilst we're waiting for them to grill our kebabs, we're just going to have a look around at the other stalls here. And we have in front of us a shawarma stall, but the Pakistani-style shawarma differs slightly to the Middle Eastern one in that it's a little bit spicier. And as you can see here, the vendor's actually nearly sold out of his meat. The skewer's been picked clean nearly, and he's just got a little bit left on this skillet. So what do we have here, Umar?
We have some red beans. It's the most popular and the most cheapest piece of Peshawar. People around here love eating this red bean with those kachalus and the chickpeas, and eat with some sauces and a bit of a spicy touch of this sour water.
And this is a completely vegetarian dish. So I have a feeling those are our kebabs. Okay, and he's marinated it with lemon.
Yeah.
Don't they look delicious, viewers? Anyway, we're going to get stuck into these. Can't eat these one-handed. Of course, I will describe them to you. They look very, very well seasoned to me, if I may say so. But I'm going to have to use my hands again.
Yeah.
Beautifully spicy coating, spicier than I'd been led to believe in Peshawar. But what I'd also say is that he has cooked the chicken beautifully to the right point. Moist, juicy, tender. I guess they know how to do this from years of practice, because I know from a fact, many people selling chicken, they have a very bad habit of overcooking it. Okay, now the seekh kebab, which I think is made from beef. Okay, I admit it. In Peshawar, they know their kebabs. That is beautiful. Again, spicier than I'd been led to believe. But as usual, minced beef, rolled with herbs, spices, topped with a little bit of ghee, I think, and then a squeeze of lemon at the end. Beautiful. We're going to finish off the evening at Salmon Sweets and Bakers. We've got a heavy day tomorrow, so we won't go overboard tonight. And for some of you, we've probably eaten a little bit too much already anyway. So there we are, Salmon Sweets and Bakers, and from the big electronic logo, Gaijar Ka Halwa, it does occur to me that halwa might be their speciality, but I believe there's an absolutely enormous range of sweets available over there. So we're going to go for the speciality of the house, carrot halwa, and halwa is something that we've had a lot of times on this trip, but if it's their best dish, we better try it. And if you remember last time, I had dal halwa and I found that too sweet, but the carrot halwa I tried in Karachi actually hit the spot because it wasn't too sweet, and the carrots in this part of the world aren't as sweet, yet they used whatever natural sweetness there was, mainly to sweeten the dish. So, one big tub of carrot halwa. They seem to put a little bit of butter on top of it. I think butter goes in everything in this part of the world. And we have to go and get a token from the cashier. So you go to the cashier, buy a token, come out here, get your tub of halwa after you pass the ticket to the man serving the halwa. And we've just gone for a small tub, which costs 100 rupees. And before we actually crack on with the halwa, just a quick view of all the other sweets they have here. Mainly sort of European style patisserie, but they do also have biscuits and the traditional range of Pakistani sweets. Your gulab jamans, your barfi, and a whole load of other things which I can't remember the name of, to be honest. There was no seating area inside the sweet shop, so we're going to have it on the boot of the car, which is a bit of improvisation on the spur of the moment, but it'll do the trick for sure. Okay. And it tastes completely different to the ones I've had before. I'm trying to put my finger on why that is. I can taste the carrot a lot more for sure, and I think there's less flour or bread than the one I had in Karachi. I'm not quite sure why that is, but this style of halwa suits me a little bit more. Less stodge, more carrot, and not too much sugar either. And the other thing I can taste is actually just a wee hint of cardamom, which might put off some people, but not me. So it's odd how desserts can be made from vegetables, but that's something they do a lot of here. A big crowd of people have come to watch me try the halwa, very keen to know what I'm doing here and whether it's my first visit, but it's nice to be welcomed so warmly to the city of Peshawar. I can assure them that their halwa does meet up to the mark and is a slight improvement on the one I had in Karachi. And they're also very interested to know what I had in Karachi, and particularly with regard to the famous biryani, which I did have. But in tomorrow's vlog, you will actually see that they have their own rice dish, which is very popular up here in Peshawar. Okay folks, that was a cracking start to our tour of Peshawar. Lovely that the locals have come out en masse to watch me film. I had a great evening. Great Chapli Kebab, great Sikh Kebab, really juicy, tender and spicy chicken kebab, and then the halwa. I'm going to wrap it up here. I'm going to love you and leave you. See you on the next one. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. And also don't forget, you can't beat a bit of mutton.